Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is not an April Fool's joke. I am not saying that I am selling all my Palantir or anything like that because I really wouldn't want to. Because Palantir has just partnered with Carasoft. I have never heard of this company before. And that's the interesting thing when you cover Palantir is that they're such an out-of-the-box company. They work with a lot of different out-of-the-box partners to increase their governmental business. So let's get right into it right now. Press release came out today, 6:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, April 1st on April Fool's Day. Palantir, a leading builder of data operation systems in use across the in cases across the U.S. government, and Carasoft Technology Corporation, the trusted governmental IT solutions provider, today announced a partnership. In Palantir's new channel partner program, Carasoft will serve as Palantir's U.S. federal distributor, making Palantir's industry-leading data operation software available to U.S. federal government through Carasoft's reseller partners contracted through NASA Solutions for enterprise-wide procurement. All right. What does that mean? We'll get back into the press release in a second. Cathie Wood sold Palantir for a $400 million loss for this one reason. They believed that the government business was slowing down. What Palantir announced today seems to be at odds with why Cathie Wood sold off her position in the stock. Again, she sold it off because she's like, there's too many vendors in the government. The government's multi-sourcing. Palantir is not going to be able to benefit off sort of being the monopoly that it was over the past 15 years in getting these IT contracts, whether it comes to AI, computing, all that stuff. Carasoft Technology Corporation is basically a government IT solutions vendor, and they're like a source vendor, and they provide the government the ability to get a bunch of other contracts beneath them. So the way they make money is they partner with all these other defense contractors, for example. So like Palantir would be one of them, but there's a lot of different defense contractors, and they work with that defense contractor, that company that provides services for the government, to make sure that the government is informed that, hey, this is the best solutions provider. The way I would think about this is kind of like a technical recruiter. So like if you're trying to get a job into Facebook, you don't get a job like just by applying to Facebook. There has to be a technical recruiter that if you're going to be a software engineer, or if you are going to work in HR, there's an HR recruiter. If you're going into marketing, there's a marketing recruiter. There's all these different types of recruiters that work at these companies that are trained to be able to assess and figure out, is this person a good fit for this position at the company? And Facebook spends a lot of money on these recruiters because they don't have time to waste on bringing in talent that doesn't know how to do their job, and then they have to fire them, give them a severance package, go through the whole process of hiring more people, etc. That's how I would think of Carasoft IT solutions for the government. This new partnership with Carasoft enables governmental departments and agencies to acquire Palantir's flexible and modular solutions. Again, not selling the entire sort of Gotham platform to governments, or even the entire Foundry platform, but modular versions of it, which is what Palantir has talked about over the past couple of weeks in order to get more clients to be able to adopt the software. The partnership with Carasoft is one of the latest steps in Palantir's important investments in its sales organization and channel program, and will help broaden its already significant reach within the U.S. federal sector. They're trying to gain more distribution as a result of this partnership. Their software has been used in a wide variety of use cases in the U.S. government agencies and departments since the company's founding, from powering the distribution of COVID vaccines and enabling data-driven decision-making in the Army, to detecting foodborne illness, assisting intelligence operations, and supporting federal safety regulators. This partnership offers U.S. government customers the ability to take advantage of specific applications with Palantir's offering that produces outcomes aligned to specific use cases and goals. So to me, the way I think of that is like, Palantir can't immediately just get distribution and sales channels into some of the most like minute sectors of the U.S. government, like this part of the post office that manages all the other post offices, right? Like they're not going to be able to have an in on that. But Carasoft, if it's a government IT solutions provider, and we're going to go to their website in a second, is going to be able to provide these types of modular programs. These modular configurations from Palantir and the Carasoft resale community will now offer customers significant value aligned to specific problems at a competitive price point. Let's see some quotes. So this is Jennifer Taylor, head of USG channel and distribution at Palantir. Partnering with Carasoft and its resellers will allow Palantir to fully leverage the value that the channel ecosystem brings, offering the government the ability to work with their trusted partners and have more options on how they can procure our joint solutions. Lauren Penny's head of sales for the U.S. government at Palantir says, "We are thrilled to partner with them as we invest in growth and establish new routes to the market that will increase Palantir's best-in-class software." Again, they're trying to find more distribution channels that make sense. Finally, with the addition of Palantir to our offerings, governmental agencies now have access to Palantir's big data solutions and transform how they achieve their new goals. Miriam Imdadi, Carasoft Vice President, said, "We look forward to working with Palantir and our resellers to deliver mission-critical technology." All right, let's go to their website. So their website is the trusted government IT solutions provider. I didn't even know companies like this existed. Like that's how crazy business is. Business is so, like, the world is so big. There's so many ways you can make money because there's so many people doing so many minute things for different people to make different forms of money. It's huge, right? There's so many different ways in which this actually gets done and actually happens. As governmental agencies and academic institutions implement large-scale telework and online learning initiatives, Caresoft's technology and reseller partners offers a range of solutions that enable telework support collaboration, ensure business continuity, and sales communications channels and security. So I'm assuming, let's say Palantir gets a $5 million contract as a result of a Caresoft connection. Maybe Caresoft takes like, 0.5%, 1% fee, maybe 2-3%. I don't know what it would be like. Obviously, they have, quotes here, but they have to charge some level of a commission. Either it's a flat fee or either it's based on the contracts that land, whatever it may be. The good thing is that they're rooted in IT procurement, right? So when you have multi-cloud, customer experience, DevOps, cybersecurity, AI and machine learning. So like already AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, those are two big things for Palantir. Multi-cloud, I mean, Palantir is not a big cloud computing provider, but that's one world in which they could help some smaller organizations. There's just a lot of different ways that Palantir can assist the U.S. government and they can grow in the U.S. governmental sector. So this would ultimately be a way for them to get it done. Now, a couple thoughts of analysis. Again, Cathie, first thing is, there's 2 points of this Cathie Wood thing. Either she was right that they're struggling in the governmental sector, and that's why they're doing this, meaning like they are really struggling, so they need to like partner with Caresoft just to be able to make make and get more contracts because they were struggling to get contracts, and that proves she's right. Or it proves that she didn't really know what she was doing. I think there's 2 ways to think of it. If you think she's right and this deal is a sort of reaction to the fact that their government business is slowing down, I mean, you could justify her selling it based on that logic and that reason, but I think it's kind of wrong because there's 2 things. Number one, the number of governmental clients they had in 2020 was 90 and in 2021 is 90. So it didn't increase. So I think that's what scared off Cathie Wood a lot. However, this is just a response to that statistic. Right? It's not even a response to Cathie Wood. I would imagine that Palantir knew, okay, wait a second, 40% of our governmental revenue increased. So our product was good. We got more dollars from the clients we had, even though we didn't get new customers and clients. If we get new customers and clients, we should be able to just like scale. Well, how do you scale? You have to have marketing, you have to have sales, you have to have distribution. What have they been doing? They hire 200 new salespeople. You could say like probably 20% of those will be dedicated just to the US federal government. But then on top of that, you have to find more avenues of distribution. Well, what did they just do 2 days ago? They hired a federal advisory board. These are people that are literally the secretary of the Salesforce, right? Or Salesforce. The secretary of the former Air Force is on that board. What are those people doing on that board? They're advising Palantir on their governmental strategy, on their ability to make products for the government. Well, it's really convenient that you have a governmental advisory board with decorated veterans on the board while you're trying to get governmental contracts. I mean, like if I'm a contractor or if I'm a governmental agency and I have to give a contract to 2 people, one of them has the U.S. Secretary of former Secretary of the Air Force on their board, helping them make decisions. It's just a question of qualitatively which product is going to be better, which company is going to give me a better solution. So I think that in and of itself is like a sales pitch right there. And then we get this news that they're partnering with Caresoft. So there's like 2 unique elements here of them partnering with an IT government solutions provider, which is supposed to increase the number of clients they get. It's not supposed to get new revenue. It's supposed to get new clients, which is addressing this sort of 90 to 90 non-changing dynamic of the governmental clients they had, which makes sense. And then 2 is this federal advisory board. Like these two pieces of news today, this week, signal to me that I don't know how Q1 has went for governmental spend, but I do know for Q2, Q3, and Q4 2022, these 2 things are supposed to massively accelerate governmental growth. And if that happens, Cathie Wood will be wrong. And the thing is, even if she didn't sell, I think they were going to do this anyway. I think they knew the governmental business was not growing as much as it needed to grow. And these things were in place a long time ago, right? For them to be able to figure this stuff out. So I'm happy they're doing this. This makes a lot of sense. And these are active, real steps we're seeing from the company. Again, in a growth stage company, it's not Tesla yet. It's still very early. It's at $13 a share. It's trying to figure out how does it grow? And these are the types of innovation and out-of-the-box strategies you want to see from a company in this position. Which means, I mean, it's kind of funny because it's like, well, if Cathie Wood sold because of the governmental business and all of the stuff is only going to help the governmental business, and she sold quite literally at the bottom as of now. She sold at 10, 11. Now it's at 13. We hit 14 very easily a couple days ago. Then she sold at the bottom. And maybe some of her other stocks grow more, and maybe that makes up for it. But nonetheless, she took a $400 million loss on a position that she sold at the bottom. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I am very bullish on this. This makes a lot of sense, and hopefully it is something that is going to increase Palantir's governmental revenue. The second thing I was going to say here is that I think outside of like the whole Cathie Wood point, this signals that Palantir is getting more deeply ingrained in the government if they're trying to land more contracts and they're making partnerships with institutions that help them get into the government. The reason I say this is because just recently today, this was going on Twitter. If you go to Palantir's attributes and security page, multi-layered security, you go to the bottom, impact level 6 DoD. That was not there before. Impact level 6 was not there before. The most we had was impact level 5. Now, if I Google that, just to let you know what impact level 6 means, why it's important. Amazon, right, has this. AWS has this. Yeah, here we go. Let's define what is impact level 6. It is the highest level, by the way, that you can get to. IL6 allows cloud service providers, CSPs, to store information up to secret or below. DoD Impact Level 5 allows the cloud service providers to process data that includes mission support information, national security services, information, and other very highly controlled, unclassified information, but not classified. So in a nutshell, Impact Level 6 is the highest level of security that a company can reach with the government. So if Microsoft's working with the government, or Amazon's working with the government, or Palantir's working with the government, there is very, very highly classified data. They can only give that data to a company that has the ability to protect that data and make sure that data never leaks, because if it does, if anything classified or confidential goes into the public, it's a national security threat. This was not there before. Impact level 6 is now there, which is pretty amazing for a company like Palantir. And we knew they were going to get it. It's just a question of when they were going to get it. And they went from impact level 5 to impact level 6, IL6. And now they're in the realm with a bunch of other, major companies that have IL6 when working with the federal government. So this news today to me around the government, it implies A, that they're finding new channels of distribution and sales to get governmental clients, and B, that they might be already landing some big contracts that we don't know about because of the fact that they just reach IL6. And again, if you reach IL6, you are differentiated from everyone else who does not have IL6, which means you should theoretically be able to land more contracts because you have the highest levels of security. So those are my thoughts. Awesome news to round out the week for Palantir. Check out dailypalantir.com. Some articles will be up on this soon. You can check them out and read them, and subscribe to our weekly newsletter that comes out every Thursday. We just sent one to 600 people yesterday, and actually 360 people opened it. It was like a 60% open rate. It's really, really awesome. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on governmental security and what Palantir is doing to increase their governmental business. I will see you in the next one.